Hello everyone, welcome to Hervey's Eczema Podcast episode 7. Yay! Okay, the third voice is our guest today.
Right. You may have seen our thumbnail. We have a new guest today, or even host.
Potentially. Hi everyone, my name is Po Yi and I'm honored to be the first guest on your podcast.
We are honored to have you here too.
For those watching or listening, actually, she's not just some random person. She's a.
They did not pick me up from the streets, guys.
I mean, we can, but too far. Even though it's one station away, too far. Alright. She's a close friend of mine that I've known for almost 10 years, I think, perhaps.
Are we that old now? Yes. Oh my god, we met in high school.
Yeah. Back in Sabah.
Back in Sabah.
Yeah.
I just know her today.
Yes. Just met Harper today. She's very cool.
She seems lovely.
You taking yourself for Poi?
I'm lovely too. Yeah.
For today, we're just introducing about herself, about Poi, or even getting know more about a person with eczema. As even if we talk about it ourselves, doesn't mean we actually know what's going through.
Poi has quite a serious eczema, I would say.
For watchers, I guess can try see
It's on my hands.
Yeah, hand eczema. Yeah, me and Marco don't have active eczema right now, but then I do have sensitive skin. As in, my skin barrier is not as strong as when I was young. I was younger. I'm still young, but when I was younger, my skin barrier is like relatively thicker skin. But now, can see a bit of rashes and redness.
I now also can see redness from it.
But we are very happy to have Poi here to share about the real life experience of being someone with active eczema.
If for anyone that can relate, do let us know if you're listening towards what her answer is towards some of the questions we have.
I'm glad to be able to provide a first-hand experience of how it's like living with eczema. Though I do want to clarify that my eczema, yes, it is, I guess, severe-ish, but still way better off than a lot of people that I've seen on the internet and everything. So we can get in a little bit into that later on.
Yeah. All right. For our first question would be, actually, have you ever went for like a doctor checkup on your skin? Like, or even going towards a specialist dermatitis?
Well, my eczema only started flaring up again, like maybe 2-3 years ago. So like 2018, 2019,
So
that it
around
only
when MC
Form
was-
5, past Form 5 that year, I would say that's when it started flaring up again. Previously, I've had it, but it was only really, really bad when I was a child lah. But throughout my life, I had like sensitive skin, really, really dry, scaly skin and everything. So it wasn't as bad as to rashes lah, but it was still there. So when it did like flare up a lot, I did go see doctors, though I don't think I went to see a dermatologist immediately. I just went to see the doctors like, hey, it's really bad. Can we get any medicine for it? So we went...
In general practitioners.
GP
lah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they would give me medicine for it and I would take it and it would be fine lah. But it was only in...
What kind of medicine?
Steroids lah. What else would they give, right?
Talking about steroids also, we actually do... If you haven't watched, do look for our past episodes. We have mentioned about one specific product, which is a steroid cream also.
I won't be surprised if I used it, honestly. So we'll see. I'll watch that episode and we'll see. But it was only like in 2019 that I personally went to see a dermatologist again.
Okay.
So at that point, I was already a student in Selangor and I was a student in Cyberjaya. So it was so bad. I was so like frustrated and like lost in what to do because it wasn't just my hands. Okay, you can see right now, right? It's only like my fingers and like my
palm.
palms here, right? That time it was like until here. Until here. Yeah. And then like it wasn't just here, it was like my elbows and my back of my knees, which is like typical places where you have eczema, and like my entire leg.
I
Leg and
mean, you
feet
did have
as well.
dry skin on your legs before,
Yeah, I
right?
memang had dry skin and usually like where my skin is most dry is like my like calves there. But it was never like rashes like this. Like these were really, really bad rashes. If I can find photos, I'll show it to you guys in a bit if I can find photos. Because it was so bad that I used to keep a little diary of photos of it for like a very short while, like maybe 2 to 3 weeks when it was really, really bad after I started to go see a doctor. But I went to see a specialist in KL because I was just like, I cannot take this anymore. I had to go see someone because it was really affecting my mood as well. And with all the stresses that I was facing in high school. But we can talk about that next time. It was a whole thing. But I went to see a dermatologist. It costed so much money.
Especially
And then
how
they
much?
gave me...
How much is that?
I went for 2 appointments. It costed upwards of 1,000 plus lah. 1,000 plus. But that's only because I did an allergy test as well. Because I also, I saw your TikTok actually about the allergy test. And I have a different experience from you. So we can talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah, the allergy
Mine
test
was quite pleasant.
I'm glad. Mine was she gave me both oral steroids and
That's serious.
it was
Oral
that
steroid?
serious. Yeah,
Okay.
oral steroids and like the cream
Hand cream,
steroids. Yeah. And it went away. So I mean it didn't fully go away lah. Like I've always since then I've always just had this. Like little bit lah. And then it sort of like went down a bit, so it calmed down a bit lah. But during MCO, it started getting bad again, and this was when I was in KK. So I went to see a dermatologist in KK.
Because if KL, I understand because of the weather, you're not used to the condition here.
I realized that it flares up whenever I'm moving. So I move from KL to KK, it flares up.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a lot of things lah. But yeah. But then another thing is that I realized that whenever I went to see dermatologists or GPs, right, I realized that they never really gave me like a proper diagnosis. You know, they never like, oh, this is bleep eczema. Or this is bleep dermatitis, whatever.
Yeah, eczema is the atopic dermatitis. That's the
I'm not okay.
reference name.
I feel like it could be between atopic or contact dermatitis. Yeah. But I guess I can understand why they never gave me a proper diagnosis because they
it's very
themselves
hard to
they
give
themselves
a-
don't know probably.
Yeah,
They're just like,
yeah.
oh, I give you cream, settle. But then I get cream and then after a while it comes back. So
Actually,
then
it
what do
doesn't
I
matter,
do?
you know, regardless of atopic dermatitis or contact dermatitis, they give you the same thing.
Exactly.
So it doesn't
but
matter
I
from
think
their
the
perspective.
difference, like correct me if I'm wrong, the difference between atopic and contact is just like the cause of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like contact is if you like
Actual contact.
touch things that you're allergic
to something,
to.
for example, like clothes or some dust.
Whereas like atopic is like when you are like a child, I think. Like you got it as a
Atopic,
child.
the label atopic means surface.
Surface.
So it's more a descriptive kind of labeling.
Okay.
Instead
more
of-
general wise,
yeah,
I
yeah,
I
know.
see,
yeah,
I see.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, but it's probably either one of those lah. So I guess the diagnosis is like contact now because at least now I know a little bit more.
Dermatitis lah.
Dermatitis, eczema.
Undifferentiated
Yeah,
dermatitis.
just general. Yeah, at least now like after a while I sort of know like, oh, I cannot do this, I cannot do that and everything. But it was a very long process of getting there. Yeah.
So you notice that whenever you move or whenever moving, right? You
Traveling in
feel
general or
stress.
moving?
Both. Traveling between states, the worst always when moving lah, because when you move things, there's dust. When you move things, there's a lot of like, you have to carry a lot of things. So like my hands right now, they're at a point where they're so fragile. If like when it's wet, it's even more fragile lah, of course, right? But it's so bad to a point where like right now, if I accidentally bump my hand like this into the table, it might just split open. Like you might see the cracks, it might just crack open like that.
Yeah, that happened to my mom also. Yeah, my mom also like that.
I remember like a very vivid experience with this, and it traumatized me a bit lah, because like it just happened so quickly. I was in the shower, I was opening a new bottle of like body wash, and then like I couldn't get the twist right, so I accidentally like scratched my finger on like one of the surfaces. It wasn't even that sharp, but my entire skin that came off, and I was like, oh, that just happened. Okay. And this happens quite often. This happens very often actually.
I believe that's quite common among people with eczema.
Yes, especially
Because the
people
skin barrier is so
Not
weak.
healed yet, so it's just very
Yeah.
thin. So
and caused by steroids as well, right?
You know
'Cause it
this guy,
causes
right,
thinning.
can just wash his hand with thinner water.
for now, I mean, I think it's also because
Crazy.
I think it's also because of the what's it called? My past mechanic, the history of using brake fluid, all those.
So his skin is like that thick, right? I can't imagine
Cannot.
Cannot. I also cannot.
Parties lah. Not the future. Later, you see all.
I still want to have pretty hands. So I cannot.
That was never something that I had in my entire life.
Mm.
It'll be better soon.
I hope so. We will see.
Can.
It has gotten better.
Good lah,
Slowly lah. Yeah.
Slowly but sure. All right. On to the second question. Like how long have you known of herbies or even never heard before?
I've actually known of herbies before Danica even joined. Danica,
Oh my
the
God.
person behind the
So
camera
on.
right now. Yeah, because I follow a few like eczema Instagram, like these people like
Like they
influencers.
Actually, or not even like doctors who
Not-
have tried out to
not-
just the people that has eczema.
Yeah, like influencers with eczema or just people who are talking about eczema on their page lah. I followed them and then most of them are like, oh, no to steroids. Oh, how I healed my eczema. Yada, all those things lah. So that's where I don't know how I stumbled across herbies. And then I looked at the products like, oh, these are cool. Natural products, no steroids. And also because that time I was using a lot of steroids. So like I know what are the side effects of it. I've felt the side effects myself. But sorry to say lah, I never actually like had the thought of buying it. But when I first saw it, because I had like a lot of bad experiences where people will recommend me stuff to buy and like they're like, oh, you have eczema, your skin's so bad. Come try this. They would push it onto you. So then I had like a bad experience with that and my dermatologist. Not a story for today. But then. So I was just really, really scared of trying any new products to help my skin. Like after that point, I was just like, it's okay. I just use whatever my doctor give me. And that's what I've been doing until now lah. So yeah, never actually bought your products. However, ever since I went to see a traditional Chinese doctor, funny story, I went to see the doctor actually for my back pains and my knee pains. But I sat down on the chair, they saw me and they're like,
The way you
your
said
skin very bad. Come, I help you. So I was like, at that point, I was like, might as well. I'm already here. So like they did some acupuncture. They gave me some like the drink to drink.
Herbs.
Probably some herbs lah. It tasted very, very bitter. And it's green. It's like
Chinese.
It's like lime green color and it was bitter. And afterwards it was like 70 ringgit a pack. No, not 70, sorry. It's like 30 ringgit for like a pack of this big of the water.
Oh, actually quite
They
cheap
put
for
it-
Chinese herbs
no,
though.
they put it in, it's water already. So they put it in the bag, like water, and then you cut it open and you shot it. So that's why I did laugh for like 2 days afterwards. But going back to the topic, they gave me this kind of like it's like a, I don't know what it is, but it's like a like water. Let's just call it water lah. It's like a water where you sapu.
Liquid lah.
Like a liquid lah that you put on your like
Skin.
and then it dries up. And after it dries up, you use like a balm. So that balm it was like this big. It costed me like 300 ringgit. Yeah, 300 ringgit for this big of
Do you
balm.
still have the bomb with you?
I still have it. Yeah.
Next time bring it for me to see.
Can. I still have it because I use it very sparingly. But you know, it's like very, very oily. Like it's very, very oily.
What color
so
is that? What
white.
color?
It's like white color. It's very, very oily. So it's like, it's just to keep the moisture in. You don't have to use a lot. So actually, since started using that and the acupunctures and everything, and my skin actually got very good lah for a while lah.
So herbs does help
so
a bit.
herbs help actually. So then seeing that and then thinking back at herbies, I'm like, actually that might work. But I just like, but the mindset of just follow whatever the doctor says. Don't go out and try things yourself.
One thing about doing the skin test or you being forced by people, right? Actually, like even what Harper did on story, it was on her reels is that I'm not sure. Have you seen the reels? But the skin patch test.
A very long time ago.
Very long time already. Yeah. So those kind of tests would actually help. Like if you feel like you're forced, you ask them.
True.
You know how to help me to do skin patch tests. Only you trust them.
Can.
Or
Yeah.
even there's a few books that's about like using medication or even eating right. Those books itself, the writers will say bring towards your own doctor, your own family doctor, and let them read through. Yeah. So if you don't trust, may even bring the product towards your doctor.
Yeah, true. But it was only like I find out everything, and then one day Danica told me, I don't know how it came out on the topic, but Danica told me like, oh, I'm applying to work at Herbies, and she was telling me a little bit. I'm like, wait, Herbies? I've heard of that before. Oh, so I followed them before you. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Stumble upon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you've never seen like any of the reels, or you only seen the products, lah.
I've browse the social media a little bit lah. Yeah, but I don't really remember a lot of the content.
If you've seen some of the reels, like, do you think it's actually useful or not?
Like the skin patch test or you mean like the reels that you guys make?
Like there's something to.
We did
talk
a
about.
lot of educational content instead of just talking about how good our product is.
Yeah,
or
that's
something
nice.
like
That's
that.
nice. And I liked what I think Danica at that point. Danica was already working here, like the thing with the board you guys brought around KL.
Oh, that
that was really really cute. That was really really cute. Yeah, and I saw Danica. I was like, oh, Danica, that's my friend. That was really really cute. Yeah, I really enjoyed watching that.
Yeah, that one was quite fun. That was quite fun. We walk around like. This year we can do it again. we
With
can
Marco
make him
this
a
time.
mascot. We can make him a mascot, right?
Holding a signboard like that, just jumping around.
Like the spotlight, 5 of us like.
Yeah, we do. We hold the ball right there. And a lot are more taking pictures of us at the Bukit Bintang in front of the pavilion, the crossover thing. The zebra cross. Yeah, the traffic light over there. Yeah, a lot are more taking photo of us.
Wow.
Then you show your friend now, you see, personal company. I mean, if they know you're the boss, then say, wow, even the boss also follow eh.
Yeah, that was quite fun. That was quite fun. That one quite fun. That one quite fun. Why acupuncture helps your skin and back pain at the same time, right? It's because
Blood
in TCM etiology, these two things are linked.
Really?
It's because of vein stuck at a certain area. So the vein cannot go through, right? Because for a healthy person, the vein circulation is actually very smooth. But for someone with pain, eczema, usually it's stuck at certain area.
I see.
That's why acupuncture help you to get rid of the vein from that area. So you feel like these two things, they are just get better.
Then what's the Chinese term, like what they say, 精风啊?
祛风续血, something like that.
Because ours, like when we in Sabah, we call it like, if we feel like
Yeah,
back pain,
your
we call it-
vein get in already.
Yeah.
That's why after giving birth, you need to have confinement period. Is to prevent the vein to get in your body. If not, when you get old, right, all the vein inside your body, you pain here, pain there. You see a lot of auntie complain,
The
right?
back pain.
Yeah lah. It's because of this in TCM etiology lah.
I see. That's cool. That's very cool.
That's the main function of mugwort in TCM also. That's why we use mugwort all the way. If you're just like giving birth to a newborn babies, very likely you use mugwort to shower also for yourself and baby. Because it helps you to get rid of the
like
vein.
doctor will actually recommend to use.
Yes,
Wait, but
yes.
then buying mugwort, the leaves itself, is it very easy to even get? Because right now,
You just
You
go
grow
to
it
any.
yourself?
My father's. My father grew it. Even
plant.
yeah. My father grew it, and you just go to any TCM shop lah. They have a lot, and it's very cheap one. It's very cheap. Mugwort is not like ginseng or the bird nest, those very expensive herb. No. It's very cheap. I think 5 ringgit can get 200 gram, and it's enough for maybe making a week of tea. 7 times. So the value of the drink, right, maybe is from the boiling itself. Instead of the herbs.
Possibly, yeah.
Mugwort is not a very expensive herb, but
the
it's my
process of-
favorite herb lah.
Of course, favorite.
And in the past, I have very serious menstrual pain. I also drink a lot of mugwort tea to get rid
actually?
of the pain.
have-
So if your girlfriend have this problem, right, you can actually recommend her to drink this.
because I've tried, from that, looking online, I've seen a few teas, but I've never actually seen mugwort tea being recommended.
Mugwort tea, yeah.
Actually, it helps.
It's very bitter lah, but then it's good.
I'm guessing that's why, because usually I see the things like quite sweet lah.
Like black sugar,
Oh, no.
ginger, no.
Yeah, chamomile and ginger.
yeah.
Black sugar never seen.
I've only had ginger for menstrual pains.
I mean, that
I don't
would
like
be,
the taste though. Does not taste good.
That's the typical.
Yeah, that's typical.
Mugwort is my favorite herb.
Have you gotten accustomed to the taste yet? Because you said it's bitter in tea, right?
Still bitter.
Still bitter.
Still
Like, do
bitter.
you add any sugars to like help with the bitterness or
I
anything?
have some goji berry.
Yeah. Good. I mean, that's also in like the menstrual drink also, like the typical, like it's goji berry, ginseng, and the dates.
Dates, still bitter lah. You can add some sugars lah, but
Not recommended.
sugar make you fat.
I have no comment.
Yeah, I watch my weight.
I mean, typical lah, very typical.
I'm not 18 anymore, so I have to like.
None of us here are. Not even. We're all over 20 already.
Okay, Marco, you didn't have to put it into perspective like that, okay?
I mean, I've known you. I already mentioned that I've known you for 10 years.
Still 18 at heart. No,
No,
19 at heart.
spirit, the spirit.
I still can do TikTok law, okay.
Yeah, I cannot even do it.
Even though I can't dance, but yeah, I try.
Alright, on towards the next question, which would be like what I mentioned right now, currently in Selangor, or even KL, or even generalized Peninsula Malaysia. Even back in KK when you were younger times, do you actually mindset of like buying clothes or even buying food?
Buying clothes or buying food that is like better for my skin, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, for clothes wise at least, I don't really have, my skin is not that sensitive to fabrics, thankfully, because like doctors recommend like all 100% cotton clothes, right? And that is not cheap. So
Yeah, I mean that's why also like you see most brands they would price it at a higher price also.
yeah.
Because cotton will be thicker also, right? Thicker or thinner somewhere.
Thicker.
Thicker.
So I never really, not like never really, like I tried, but it's not that accessible for me. And plus, I'm not that big on shopping and clothes. Yeah, I only buy what's necessary. So like recently, like these past few years, I've only been buying like more formal office clothes lah, because it was what I needed. So in terms of like going out clothes pun, it's only if like, oh, I have an event coming up in the next few weeks. I have like something I have to go to. So I need to buy clothes for it. So, and usually when that happens, it's kind of last minute. So I sort of have to just opt for Shopee or just these online platforms. I'm proud to say I haven't bought from Shein in a long time.
I bought before. Oh my god. Okay.
Is there not
I
Shein
bought
or
before.
Shein? Actually?
I guess you can pronounce it either way, but I think I've bought from them like once or twice at most.
Long
I don't
years
regret
ago.
buying my cow earrings from Shein. Best purchase ever. And my Barbie head earrings. My Barbie
Yeah, I
head earrings.
remember.
Like Barbie heads.
She wore it to school.
Yeah, I wore it to campus before. Yeah. Okay, anyway, back to the topic. So clothes not really that big of a deal, and also thankfully that I'm not that reactive to it. But honestly, I can feel the difference. Although I'm not that sensitive to fabrics, whenever I sweat in certain fabrics, I can feel like, oh, my skin is like not feeling very comfortable right now. It's acting up a little bit, especially in the areas that are like prone to sweat, then also prone to more rashes and everything lah. So that would typically be like the back of your knees, like your elbows, neck as well, because I've started wearing like turtlenecks to campus. Yeah, so these places whenever I wear long sleeves and I sweat, and I can really feel like, oh, this does not feel comfortable. It starts to feel a little itchy. Yeah. So thankfully, I don't really have to wear those clothes for like long
don't have the
periods of
mindset of,
times. Yeah. And if I'm at campus or I'm at work, there's aircon, there's like ventilation. So it's really not that big of a deal lah. But one clothing, I guess, that I is my go-to is Uniqlo's UT t-shirts, because they always come up with new like anime lines. So I always go and buy those anime t-shirts, and honestly Uniqlo t-shirts are, I don't know if
Thin enough.
I don't know if it's like 100% cotton or what's the material of it, but so far it feels good. It feels good on my skin. Hasn't really caused me any problems. So
How about Arism?
Arism, actually haven't bought.
I think
Arism
Arism is more of a
yet.
guy. The Arism t-shirt is more of a guy choice, not like it wouldn't be singles wear, but we'll see guys more. Even the joke of the Singaporean guys.
Yeah, that one. I thought about that
wear
one.
the same
the
t-shirt.
starter
Yeah.
Like the one is
Arism
Uniqlo
Yeah,
t-shirt.
but Arism shirts are nice because they're plain and then they're comfortable and everything. Whereas my purpose of going to Uniqlo to buy t-shirts
Anime
is
t-shirts.
anime, is the
Collabs.
releases, the collabs that they have. Or else I really wouldn't be spending 60 ringgit on a t-shirt. Like, let's be fair, okay?
I mean, right now the release is getting even the thinner materials as well.
Actually, no, that's the thing about, okay, this is turning into like a little Uniqlo talk, but I've bought from almost every, I would say not every lah, like maybe like if they have 10 releases, I will buy from like 5 or 6 of them, which is quite a lot. Quite a lot.
A series.
Yeah, like I will buy maybe like 1 or 2 from each series. Yeah, and at most I've bought like up to 4 from a series before, because I was just that obsessed with
The anime.
at that time, the collab at that time. So the quality it actually varies based on the releases.
Yes.
So I would, it actually varies. Although the price is the same, some releases are thinner in material, some are thicker, some they like wash out nicer, some not so. And the color also is like, you would think like white t-shirts are all the same, but because of the difference in quality, right, the color is actually slightly different, which was very, very shocking to me. Yeah, I've talked to one of the staff, I'm like, hey, the material macam like a little bit different.
don't
Like,
know
is
also.
anything? No, they know. They tell me, yeah, this is the old material. I've talked to a staff before at Uniqlo. Like, yeah, this is the old t-shirt material that we don't really like. It's not what they use now, lah, but they had back like extra, I guess. So they still printed it onto the t-shirt and they sold it to us. Yeah, and I'm
I
like,
mean, at least they have the knowledge about it, rather than
Yes,
just being store.
yes.
People don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
They just work on it.
yeah, but my reaction at the time was, damn, I'm still paying the same amount for this, but it's okay. I still bought it anyway. Yeah.
I guess because they source their t-shirt from different supplier,
Definitely,
Possibly.
definitely.
from China.
Hard to say because Uniqlo, they're a very big brand. So you
Yeah,
cannot judge them.
they can't just get from one supplier. So
Because
definitely
it's like
there's
even like talking about it, I've done some research or even looking through like the Nestle is an international company, right? They made sure every country they will actually source out something from there. So they're using local items. So that's a good
the
thing
Milo
also.
in from Taiwan and Milo here
Different
tastes
also.
different.
Yeah, very, very
Yeah,
different. The cocoa.
Yeah.
Not just like these two countries, every country tastes different. Food. Okay. In terms of food as well, I also thankfully am not that sensitive to it.
Because you did mention you did the allergy test.
Yeah, the
also,
allergy
right?
test, which we'll get into. I'm from the allergy test, it didn't really show that I was allergic to any food actually.
Same for me.
Yeah, which is very shocking lah, because like all my life, people are like, oh, don't eat seafood. Oh, don't eat
Because
something
of your skin being
because of
sensitive.
skin. Yeah, and I remember this very very vividly when I was like a very very young child, like I was a child in probably kindergarten or something. I remember that one time my skin got so bad that the doctor was like, oh, you might need to cut out eggs from her diet. So at one point I almost couldn't eat eggs, but thankfully that didn't last. So I was still able to eat eggs now, although I have to clarify, I don't like eggs. I don't like eating eggs at this age. But yeah, it was really, really shocking back then because like, eggs so staple, so basic, I cannot eat. Why? Yeah, but thankfully it wasn't really that big of a deal. And also like growing up, I couldn't really eat prawn because prawn would irritate my like it was like lower lip.
I think that's very common.
Which is
very
very common. Yeah, seafood lah, seafood. But thankfully now that I've grown older, I eat seafood minimally. Yeah, so it doesn't really have an effect on me. And if it does, I usually eat antihistamine just in case lah.
You ready
Yeah,
like the medicines.
I have like a medicine pouch in my bag. Yeah. So food also not that I don't really avoid a lot of things lah, thankfully. But there was also a time where it was my Chinese medicine doctor. He said, you cannot eat chocolate.
Why?
That's why. I was like, chocolate?
I mean, chocolate.
Of all things, chocolate?
Even through online, is very bad for menstrual pains actually.
I feel like I've read that somewhere before.
Or maybe
But
Ian's told you. I'm not sure.
I
I'm
only
not
know it
sure.
doesn't help. I only know that
It doesn't help. It doesn't help. It's just
Ah.
a craving that.
it just
most
make
people
the
will-
girl happy only.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably it lah. But then again, there's a lot of talk about like, oh, you shouldn't do this on your period, you shouldn't do that on your period. But it really varies between like people lah. Because some people they like the very common one that all of our like my mother would keep telling me like, oh, don't drink cold water during period.
I drink like crazy. I also
yeah.
what?
And then like, oh, it will make your cramps worse. So like that was something that I followed for a little while lah. And then like like maybe it could be placebo, but I really felt it. Like if I drank cold drinks like the day or two before my period, usually my first day the cramps would be really, really bad. So I don't know. I have to say I don't know if it's because of the cold drinks or because I was just having a bad period, like a bad cramps
Because
that
it
day.
varies a lot, right?
Yeah, it tends to vary. So I really don't know lah. But some people I know like the week leading up to their period, no cold drinks at all. Yeah.
They would avoid
no cold drinks at all. They would avoid it as the plague. And I would just be like, okay, sure. And then of course there are other like myths that you shouldn't do and everything. But yeah, overall, food I don't really avoid.
Talking about the allergy test, right? Actually, even if you may be the thing that may not detect the test right itself, right? Even if it may not detect that you're allergic to it, is because the scientific term is calling the immunoglobulin E. This is about your genes making things that are actually making you allergic towards the food. If there's no physical of those are actually what they're detecting. The food allergy test is actually detecting that what you're specific towards.
The typical one, the first tier one, there could be the second tier and the third tier that detect different biomarker in your bloodstream.
Yeah. So
I
actually,
don't want to go into that.
Yeah,
lah.
no, I just
That
thinking-
will be like episode 2 or ours like
Yeah,
become
yeah.
too chemistry.
But actually,
Cause
I've only learned this also from the book. It's called Understanding Allergies. We put a picture right here.
IgE lah,
Yeah.
immunoglobulin E.
Yeah. Actually, it's not that accurate when you're doing like the food allergy test, but because they really have to test your blood for that. I'm not sure. You guys, food allergy test got test blood ka?
Blood lah, yeah,
Got
draw
this
bloods
thing,
lah.
I
yeah.
think we did the same test. It was a blood
It's
test.
a standard in
Standard,
Malaysia
yeah.
lah.
Because they say also best is would be the blood test one, but actually food allergy test really
My
doesn't help.
sister did the skin patch test.
Oh, that one is like
Very
very
common only.
uncomfortable one, is it? Yeah, I heard from someone.
slightly cheaper though.
It's very itchy.
Ah.
You need to scratch the back.
Yeah,
of
it was the
skin.
back.
Oh, like
Yeah.
legit scratch.
Yeah, then they put the like
It's
allergen
very
in.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's very
But
uncomfortable.
then testing allergen meaning they're testing like every known.
Like the common ones lah, the common ones.
How
Yeah.
many allergens they test?
Mine or my sister's?
Your sisters.
That one I'm not so sure. Yeah, because I wasn't. She did it in KK, so I wasn't there when she did it lah. But I knew it was cheaper than my blood test. Yeah, and the results of it is that she was mostly allergic to like soaps, like detergents and everything, shampoos, hand washes, the whole lot lah. Yeah,
Most probably, what you see the most common ingredient will be perfume.
probably. Yeah.
One of the most common
The
ones.
scents lah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the scent of fragrance lah.
Because right now what you're saying is like a lot of them are just they have sense.
Yeah. But my allergy test came out very different lah. This is the part where my allergy test I felt like didn't really help me that much was because it said that I was allergic to wheat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grass, pollen.
No, wheat as in like,
With,
you know, like wheat
gluten,
bread. Yeah,
gluten,
yeah.
bread
gluten-
lah,
gluten
cake
ah.
Yeah. And it was
Ah.
really, really weird because I'm like, Jab.
Allergy.
I've been eating wheat bread my entire life. I've been eating white bread also. Like I've been
Maybe
eating
it's
so
not
much.
life-threatening, but maybe might
Possibly.
induce some.
No, but it was quite
immune
high on
system in
the
your-
it was quite high on the scale because like the allergy
Yeah.
test card it rates you on
Same
like a
for
scale
me,
from
like 0
1
to,
to 5.
to 6.
0 to 6. I don't exactly remember how well it was lah, but it was quite high up and they were like, oh, you're allergic to wheat. That's the only food that you're allergic to. And I'm like, wait, what? Impossible. And then they added like, oh, what did you eat this morning? I'm like, wheat bread. And they're like, oh, possibly that
taken
it
from
could
there.
be from the wheat bread that you ate that morning. I was like, wow, this is very helpful. Thank you.
Even if you're maybe allergic to it, right, it may not have any physical side effects because it detects only just detects because those things may not be as strong or even because like you said you did mention the food allergy test was sensitive, right? So yeah, maybe
It is very sensitive, so it rather wrongly diagnose you rather than let you die.
Faham.
Yeah.
So probably it overdiagnose you in bit.
Possibly.
So for my case, right, if I don't have any any allergies to any food, that means I'm safe. But weirdly enough, if I eat seafood, I will get diarrhea.
so may not be yeah.
So I don't know.
Harper, what did your allergy test say you were allergic to?
None.
None.
Nothing.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Even though there's a list of seafood, right?
Yeah. For mine, okay, other than the food which was wheat, it was like the pollens,
Oh,
dander,
pollens.
dust, everything lah. So like
Most common shown is dust mite.
dust mites,
Yeah.
dust, insect, like the insect stuff. I really don't remember what
Cockroach,
it was. Yeah, cockroach and ants and what I was like,
Yeah.
wait, ew, I'm like, ew.
bees.
Yeah, and then like
They also test against like urine of cats.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
some
There
some
was-
particles from rats.
it was different categories for cats and dogs, like cat dander, dog dander. It was
I remember there's lizard also.
was okay.
Oh.
I don't remember lizard on mine.
Reptiles,
reptiles. Lizard lah, they may describe it. I bring
Because-
my report next time.
Yeah, I should find my report as well. It's somewhere in somewhere lah. It's somewhere. I
I
didn't
think
throw
we
it
did
out.
the same test.
Possibly, very possibly.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
can, we can do one. We can compare. Yeah,
Compare
yeah,
your
yeah.
name.
Yeah, but it said the most shocking one, or not really shocking. Like I knew it, but it was the most heartbreaking one. Was that I was very, very allergic to cats and dogs, and even more worse is that I was more allergic to cats than dogs. And I like cats more. I like cats more than dogs. So that was so heartbreaking. I was like, no, I cannot touch dogs and cats anymore. But
I'm
it's
mentally allergic to them.
true. You're mentally allergic.
Talking about actually, one thing about allergy being possible for you, right, is because maybe your overexposure to it.
Overexposure.
Yes, meaning you're very exposed to it. Because some people immune system differently, ma. So maybe because you were too close with cats, even
Oh.
Possibly, but I would argue that it could be underexposure. I argue that it could be underexposure because growing up, I've never had any pets.
yeah, there's sudden impact. The sudden impact. Yeah.
Growing up, I never had any pets. The most in contact with cats and dogs I had was with like my friends' pets lah. I had a fish and a turtle growing up. The turtle still going strong. Sorry, tortoise. Tortoise still going strong till
I've
this
met the
day.
tortoise.
Yeah,
It likes
they've
to
all
bite.
met my tortoise before. Yeah,
It likes to bite.
my parents, no, my mom specifically did not like small animals, so I've never had any cats and dogs. So it was only when I met my boyfriend and he had like 9 cats at that time that I fell in love with cats. Yeah, like 8, 9 cats. Yeah, immediately all my allergies, my allergies were already bad at that point.
Comparing after like being, because I've known you before meeting Ian or even after, you did sneeze more. That was what I noticed. You sneeze more before compared.
But I can't point it out to exactly
Cannot
the
blame
cats.
cannot blame
Yeah,
lah,
it could
cannot
be a
blame.
lot of other things, which is also like a struggle of having eczema lah. It's like you flare up and you're like, okay, great, what happened now? Like what was the cause of it and everything? So that's really hard to pinpoint down. So it's really, really hard for me to find out what exactly am I allergic to. Like for example, when I'm moving, like going back earlier I said moving it irritates a lot. Like I don't know if it's because like I'm cleaning up my old place. So I
The
am
dust mite.
I
A
am
lot of
a lot
dust.
of dust or
Or because of stress?
because of stress,
Of moving?
because I'm exhausted from moving, because I then move to a new place, it's a new environment. My body's not used to the air there or like the dust there or whatever yet. So yeah, it's really, really hard to pinpoint what exactly it is lah. So although like cats and dogs, I was suddenly exposed to it, like just right in my face. It could also be other things that were going on in my life that was causing
Very
it to
hard
be
to say,
really bad
yeah.
lah. But to those cat lovers who have eczema, based on my experience, at least in my case, I'm less allergic to female white cats. I found out, yeah. So different cats they carry different types of like dander. So apparently, female cats carry less pet dander.
Even people who don't generalize dogs towards like dander, right? But then cats, they were very specific one. I was like, because not just from you, I think I've heard of a lot
I
of
only
people.
know orange cat is stupid.
That's one of the stereotype also. That's the thing.
That is the stereotype. No, that's true. It's true. It's not a stereotype. It's true. That orange cats are like a whole different species.
Ian has a type of orange cat, right?
No. My old housemate had an orange cat, so I lived with that orange cat for a little bit. Yeah, but my boyfriend's cats are all like white cow cats, moo cats, moo cats lah that we call them. Yeah, so. His cats irritated me a lot, possibly because they were outdoor cats as well. But I have a friend with 2 female white cats, and I stayed at her house overnight and slept with the cats actually. Like we slept in the same bed as the cats, and I didn't wake up with a whale eye, as my friends like to call it. When I have a reaction against cats or dogs, my eye like swells up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it swells up. And my hands, of course my hands react, but it's normal lah because I've already have these wounds and scars on my hands, but I have nothing on my face, like at least nothing that you can see lah kan. But whenever I get close to animals, immediately my face will start reacting. So
Very
the reaction
red, the nose very itchy.
is like it would be itchy. My eye would swell up. Usually it's this eye. Usually it's this eye that will swell up, and
Right
then
eye, for listeners, right eye.
right eye, yeah. And then like I have this like sensitive patch of skin above my lip.
Okay.
Yeah, and it would start getting itchy and red lah. So it's like just a little patch around here. And where this thing happened, honestly, I have no idea. I don't know why it's like that random patch. But one thing about eczema is that, in my experience lah, if you have eczema on one area of your body, right, that area of your body never really heals properly. So if you do have like for example, for me, I remember when I was 12, I was staying in a really dusty place. No choice that I had to. So like my lower lip started acting up. And by the time I went home, it was like a very, very, very bad wound. So immediately I was rushed to the hospital, clinic, and they gave me cream and everything's fine. But now whenever I'm exposed to certain dust or certain like irritants, that area will act up.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like it has become like a sensitive area. Yeah, and that applies to all other areas as well lah.
Oh, interesting. My first time hearing this.
So even if people say when you break down the skin, thicker one comes out, not
No, not the
really.
case.
Really not the case.
the way I put it
Your
is like
inside.
it's like a sensitive area, like the skin has already been wounded, and now that it has healed up physically, like when you, as you can see lah, but inside it's not really that like healed up. So whenever anything,
So the root is still
yeah,
there.
the root is
right?
still there lah. If anything kacau it will come up again. My experience lah. Others can let us know if that is true for you or not.
Comments, comment
Yeah.
section.
So Poi, have you tried to go gluten free for a while to see whether your
The wheat
Is you
thing
thinking
is
about the
real
wheat?
or
Yeah.
not, right?
yeah?
I have not, unfortunately. But of course, for other things, I've tried cutting out and see whether it is actually causing my skin problems. But I haven't gone full gluten yet because I think that's a personal issue lah. It's a personal problem that I struggle with, which is it's really hard lah to like cut out certain foods
Yeah,
and
but then-
prepare food certain way because in uni. I was really, really tired and burnt out because I was like final year student. I have to do my FYP. I have to do all these club things. So many things to do. I barely had time to cook. I think I ate like for my last semester or last 2 semesters, I would eat out 80% of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh
And there's a really nice bomboloni shop I stall outside my apartment.
Yeah,
and it was really,
which
really
apartment?
cheap.
This now
In Cyber, like when I was in uni.
Cyber Jaya
There
481.
there was a really, really good bomboloni shop outside the Arc. I would buy that every other day, and it's only like what one ringgit 50 cents for like one little bomboloni lah. So I would buy 2-3 ringgit, and that would like fill me up. It's so good. So that's a
She's
reason.
that overworked, ba?
Yeah, it's-
2-3 pieces.
Yeah, it's so good. But because of that, I had like problems like managing my diet because I had a lot of things going on in my life as well. And now that I am in my internship, my workplace provides food. So I
Oh, so nice. Oh.
yeah.
Is it the same food as the like going
Everyone
through the,
else eats. Yeah, it's the same
Same?
food.
Ah,
Yeah. So
okay,
they
okay.
provide food, so I just eat it lah because I frankly don't have time to prepare as well. Because I
It's
start
free
work.
also.
Yeah, I start work at 8 o'clock. So I have to be there by 8 lah. And I would leave maybe around like 7. So I would need
Almost
to
a
like
12 hours shift.
no lah, I get off work at 4:30. Way earlier lah, way earlier. So if I were to cook, I would have to wake up at like 5 plus. And usually I go to sleep quite late and maybe like 11, 12 nowadays. Like these 2-3 weeks, 11, 12, because I still have
That's better than a lot of people.
yeah, I still have uni work to do. So I haven't really been able to like think about like my diet lah. So no, I have not tried a gluten-free diet.
I think it's very hard because even in like you trying to do it, like you cannot even eat cereal. Cereal no cannot, biscuit cannot, bread cannot.
Yeah, cake, my bomboloni.
Oh my goodness.
I love tiramisu. Cannot also. So
Your
it's
cake
like
in general also.
yeah, and like rice as well.
Yes,
right? Is rice gluten?
rice is considered because it's sugar, gluten.
So like
Sugar is not gluten. Gluten is a
Glucose,
protein
yeah,
of the
glucose,
of the wheat.
of wheat. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I would say like gluten scented
Hard lah,
items
very
are
hard,
a
very hard.
very, very big part of like
Life.
Asians' diet. So rice, so bread. So like it's I haven't really tried it lah.
Okay.
Because I frankly also don't like cooking. I don't like cooking. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're used to it because the 80%, like what you mentioned, 80% or even
80%
your
eating
hours,
out.
you cannot be used to it also.
And even if I'm not eating out, I had an air fryer. So I would buy like these like instant things like that I could just whip out quickly. So I could like cook and like cook quickly, eat quickly, go sleep or do something. Yeah. So it was really convenient lah. If I'm not eating out, I would be eating like some air fried like meat items, and I would air fry sometimes broccoli, or I will boil broccoli. I love broccoli, by the way. So I would just do that and then with some rice. So that's filling enough lah. It's not like the
Proper meal, but
it's not the best meal, but it has everything like the meats, the veggies, the rice. So I was happy lah. Yeah.
So your real life experience also present a very realistic view of
uni students' life.
Yeah,
and,
uni
and
students.
how actually we as a modern
You have,
citizen staying in KL, how to juggle between work, life, and actually no time for diet.
No time. And another big thing is the money. Finance
Yes.
reason.
Yes,
Because rice is cheap, bread is cheap. It's easy to get. And when you eat out, if you want to look for specifically like gluten-free meals or specifically certain this that
people would
kan,
like take advantage of
It's-
people finding specific,
yes,
then they'll
it's
make it pricier.
expensive. It's expensive. So it's not something that I can, as a uni student and now as a intern, can afford. So that's also another reason why I've never really try to get into it lah.
Agree.
Because even people like there were studies, I think I'm not wrong, people going like vegan or even going vegetarian itself. Because my family alone, we do try to go very vegetarian side. Not easy, really pricey. Very pricey. It's like almost double. Like comparing a family's meal, having a fish, right, is like 50, 60 ringgit. Even eating all veggies, also around 40, 50 ringgit. Not cheap, really not cheap. Really.
And rice is what fills you up. It makes you full, kan?
That's why I always go buffet, right? My family will say,
Never eat the rice,
not,
only
yeah,
eat
they
the
will say
meat.
they will say don't eat the rice. But if I don't eat the rice,
You
I'll
could-
still
cannot
be very
be full.
hungry.
Yep,
Ah.
yep.
And I
The
still
Asian.
yeah, and I still eat more than everyone else.
Man's got a big
You
appetite.
can ask
big
anyone of my
appetite.
friends.
Yeah.
You can ask her.
Yeah.
She's seen me or even the photo. If you still have got a photo, fried rice.
Oh, that iconic. So many years ago.
Damn
I don't think I have the photo anymore. It's probably somewhere in like an old phone or something. But that was an iconic picture of Marco eating a gigantic plate of fried rice.
Like-
it wasn't a plate. It was a tray. It was like those cooking baking trays that my family would
it's
use to make cookies.
almost like half this-
Yeah, it's
the
like that size,
size,
like
half
around
the
that
size.
size. And we're just holding it and eating it.
I can foresee you become a very fat uncle in 10 years' time.
Fatter already, fatter
It's
already.
okay. Marco works out. It's fine.
Oh,
He
no,
will
cannot.
maintain.
Also no time already.
We manifest. Marco will be a
Can-
fit uncle.
You also compare from last time when during middle school time, do like 4 sports per day. Average out have to because my timing too bored already. Need 4 sports now. Work, study. Yeah. And right now because comparing like we're in Peninsula, also the transportation timing. Yeah.
You have to work around that, right?
On towards our next question would be compromising or even staying away from allergies. But right, just now what you said about your allergy not having enough time, I think that you also cover it up.
But I would say if it's just like a question, or do you compromise for your allergies or do you stay away from them? I would say I compromise because my allergies at least is really, really hard to completely stay away from it. So like I would say daily things right now that I struggle with my skin is like detergent washing the dishes. Washing the dishes.
I have switched my detergent to castile soap.
Really? Like your laundry or your dishes?
Dishes.
And it
Normally I
doesn't
try not to
irritate?
touch it. La.
Yeah, that's why I'm like when I put I'm like ugh.
I do this, I do
Yeah,
the same
yeah,
thing
yeah.
also.
Oh, you also use it like
But the dishes I use castile soap to wash my castile
I
soap
can
is like
consider
Pantol
that.
and lye.
Yeah, I can consider that. I've never considered that because I've always just bought nitrile gloves. Another thing, I'm also sensitive to the latex gloves. Yeah,
Talking about this,
latex
we
gloves.
actually mentioned the experience being gloves. So yeah,
Yeah.
for any past
The
illnesses,
powder in the latex gloves or any latex
Yeah,
materials,
yeah,
kan, it's like
yeah.
it's super irritating, which is fair because like it's to dry out the
Yes.
any liquids that could be in the gloves, right? So it dries out and it like, makes it super cracky. So latex no. So I use nitrile gloves. So nitrile gloves better lah.
for now lah,
Yeah,
haven't
for
seen
now.
side effects
And
lah.
I use like those like the dishwasher nitrile gloves when I do dishes at home. But when I am doing anything else, I have like a pack of those like Mr. DIY
Those are not
disposable
not
nitrile
disposable,
gloves.
because like they're you can
No,
wash
no,
right,
it's
right?
like those single-use gloves that
single-use
servers.
disposal ah?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, single-use gloves lah. And I would use it like when I'm at work, and I would have like a pair in my bag that I would use to do the dishes with, or like if I'm like moving, for example, I would be wiping things or anything. I would be using those gloves lah. Yeah, because like if I kena it would be very very irritating and it would like ruin my night or something. So I would just wear those when I'm cooking as well. When I'm cooking, yeah, because when I have wounds on my hands, it hurts when water gets on it. Even doing that does not hurt. Ow. But it will hurt when water gets on it. So I would wear gloves when I'm cooking. Also more sanitary lah, because my hands are covered in wounds.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I would use that when I'm cooking as well. But like at times like I can't really always use the gloves because it's also like not that environmentally friendly to be keep using disposable
Disposable,
gloves. So how I do dishes is I hold the sponge at work lah, because we eat with the plates there and then we wash it. I hold the sponge like this and I hold the plate like this and then I do this.
So tough.
Yeah.
So that you're using these two already.
I do this and then I wash my hands like this. Because like a lot of my wounds is like around like my palm area, so I try to not get water there. So I wash hands like this.
Oh, I really
so
cannot understand.
tough.
You know?
So tough.
Do this. I do this. Yeah.
Try my tips. You
Yeah,
use
I will,
castile
I
soap.
will. Yeah.
That's what I do. I hope.
Hopefully, it doesn't irritate as much, lah. Yeah.
Hopefully, hopefully you're not like secretly allergic to it.
Hopefully, we shall see. We shall see.
I think because of allergy to gloves, a lot of healthcare professionals have hand eczema, like doctors.
It's even
and
a
nurses.
written studies about like like they've did on like medical officers or even workers. Their
A
hands
lot of them
are
have
very
it, yeah.
eczema.
Yeah, and it's not just the gloves, but hand sanitizer.
Yes.
I try to avoid hand sanitizer because one thing, it hurts my skin because I have open
Alcohol.
wounds on my skin. It's alcohol. But another thing is like it dries it out so much.
Yes.
Yeah, and now like post COVID, like the doctors, they use so much hand sanitizer. Whenever they see the patient, they will like lather it on themselves. And anything when they use gloves. So like that's very, very drying lah. And when I look at them and I look at myself, like I reflect and I'm like, I could never do this job. Yeah, even if like I did end up studying something in healthcare that requires this, I'm like, I cannot imagine myself if I had to do those jobs plus having this eczema. It's like, what do I do? It's like, do I bear with the wounds for my career, or do I not do this career to save my own skin? You know, or like can I somehow find like a magical,
I know a lot of
magical
doctors
in between for it?
just
You know,
endure the whole thing for the greater good
for the
of
greater good of
humanity. I know a lot
Positive
of
thinking lah.
doctors.
for them.
Positive
Yeah,
thinking. Positive
yeah, very heroic, very heroic.
So one of the prerequisites of being a doctor is, apart from smart mind,
You have to endure. Have to endure skin condition being.
Yeah.
Oh.
healthy skin barrier.
Yeah, made very because you're wearing gloves, you're wearing masks, sanitizers.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like when you wear masks, also the sweat in the mask, it
Yes,
causes
yeah.
rashes. So during COVID time, when we had to wear masks a lot, in addition, like when I wear masks, like walking around, like for the KK people, like lintas, very, very hot in the afternoon, and people go there for lunch often, kan. So I remember walking there for like 30 minutes wearing my mask because it was really, really strict back then. And like I had to stop because I actually couldn't breathe. I actually couldn't breathe.
I'm guessing because of the sweat, like covering
Because
the
of the
mask.
sweat, and then because of how hot it was, and plus I have like some like sinus problems as well, so it doesn't help lah. And then like the sweat, it gathered here and it started having a rash and everything. I actually had to stop somewhere and like breathe for a second because it was really, really that bad.
But they did mention, like being scared is scared, but then they say sinus, you don't have to really put on the mask.
Okay.
It's because of they understand. That's why what people would mention if you have like lung what's it called? Like your lung is not functioning properly, like not like normal people to be concerned. Mask is actually not a must.
I see. Masks are not a must. I see. Okay.
But now getting more.
Now it's more chill lah.
yeah,
now.
you can see right now.
Yeah, no one's wearing a mask right
But
now.
still do be safe.
Yeah, but I do have a mask in my pocket though. Wait, no, I put it in my car already. I had a mask in my pocket just now because I was like working and I had to go to certain places. Yeah.
How does your friend like being around people, right? Would they, because as everyone's different, like even wearing clothes are different. Would friends change your mindset to not care about your skin condition and have to follow the style of clothes?
Okay, clothes wise, not so lah. Again, I'm not that big on
On
like
clothes shopping.
fashion and clothes and everything. But if you want to talk about whether my friends
Would
have
affect you.
eczema, like my friends, I have a few that have eczema. Actually not a few, like only like very, very few. So we can relate on each other on that. But I do have quite a few number of friends with sensitive skin. So it's nice when we like go out and we both use the same creams and they were just like, can I have some? Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. But I would say most of my friends are very understanding of my
Skin condition.
skin condition. They don't really say anything or do anything like that purposely hurts me, because I feel like everyone can understand that whenever you have not just eczema, but whenever your skin itches, it really, really is like a tough time because
You
you know
keep
the
scratching.
urge to scratch, and you don't know honestly, when you scratch your skin and it feels so good. It feels so good to scratch it. It's not just like that area that feels good. It's like it tingles in your body, It's a different experience. But I know, like, and then immediately when you stop scratching, you can see the consequence. You can feel how bad it has become. Yeah, but
Actually, there's a cycle of it.
it's a cycle. Yeah.
Should I talk about it?
Can only.
Let's get scientific over here.
When you scratch, you trigger dopamine to release. And in turn, dopamine, you make your skin itchier. Then you scratch more, then more dopamine, then itchier, then dopamine again, then
And then your skin has a wound already now. It's bleeding.
Luckily, if we scratch dog, they don't have lah. Because they like scratches, right?
Dogs, yeah.
No, so need some of the dog genetic. Kena scratch, won't have.
But yeah, my friends affect mindset. I wouldn't say negatively lah. I wouldn't say
they will
negatively.
actually support you, like try to help you out with your.
I'm really thankful that my friends are very understanding, and I'm very thankful of the people who understand that I have a skin condition and they would like offer to do things for me, like such as just doing the dishes lah. Like if they're doing dishes, they see me about to wash something, they will offer to do it. It takes them. It doesn't really mean anything for them because it's just an extra plate and cutlery that they have to wash. But for me, it could mean like whether I have to endure the itches and the
pain,
cracks and the pain and everything for the next day, for the the rest of the
Hours.
day. Yeah. So I really, really appreciate that when people do it. But at the same time, I never ask people to do it for me. I never ask people to do it for me because I don't want to burden them with something like that lah. Yeah, I know like some people they don't mind, but some people they do. You know, like why are you asking me to do this for you? So I really never ask them to do it for it. I ask people to do it for me unless it's like, not that unless like it's like my friends are understanding in a way that it's like, oh, you can do something that's better for you and I'll do the things that is not so convenient for you. Yeah, so for example, when I lived with housemates, we had a mop where it wasn't those mops where you can squeeze and the water would come out. It's a mop that you have to squeeze manually with your hands. So in terms of house chores, they would do the mopping because they had to squeeze it and I would do the vacuuming. Yeah. Or like before we had a vacuum, it wasn't that convenient for me to sweep floors because of the dust that it kicks up. So then I would do the mopping and then they would do the vacuuming. Yeah. And whenever I'm doing the mopping and vacuuming, I would just be like, hey, can you help me squeeze the mop? And they would do it. Yeah.
They understand.
Yeah,
also,
they
lah,
understand
everything.
like housemates like
so lucky.
very nice lah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like hear from a few of my friends, not you guys lah, other friends lah. They say the housemates is quite bad.
I mean, my housemates are
Very
my
rude.
friends. My housemates are my friends.
You managed
lah.
to make friends with them.
Yeah, like we moved in together because we are friends. So yeah, I'm glad lah that they have been really, really kind to me about it. But of course, if they are not kind to me about it, I'm not going to hold it against them because this is truly a me problem. This is truly a me problem and no one has to do anything extra for me. Yeah.
Okay. You're very lucky. You're very lucky. And you have a very healthy mindset. Also, since some people might like,
expect
yeah.
You cannot expect. If you expect things, then you have disappointment.
over expectations.
Over expectation.
On towards our next question. You yourself having skin condition, right? Is it like a family thing?
It's a genetic thing.
Genetic
Yeah.
From like which
From
side?
my dad's side of the family. So like my uncle has psoriasis. How do you pronounce that? Psoriasis.
Oh, that's
Why
so far.
is it?
Is it
Psoriasis.
Psoriasis?
It's a silent
starts
P,
with
is it?
It
Oh,
starts
it's a
with
silent P.
Psoriasis, like
It's a
psychology.
science.
Psychology, yeah.
Psoriasis.
True. Psoriasis.
I think
okay.
a lot of things
Yeah,
they
I
have
know
a
how to
silent
pronounce
P.
psoriasis
What kind
now.
of disease?
Yeah. I've always pronounced it with a P. But that also because no one ever corrected me or I never had to actually use
No
that
one
word
has
lah.
like a proper the proper knowledge about it.
Yeah,
lah.
it's okay. Now I know how to pronounce
Psoriasis.
psoriasis. Okay. Yeah, my uncle had that. And then like my dad also has like, he doesn't have bad skin lah, but he has like dry skin as well. So my whole family's on lotion. I'm a lotion family.
Oh my God.
No, I know some people like guys, they don't like to use lotion. They don't like to use creams because like, "Ugh, it's sticky. It doesn't
oily.
feel good.
It's so unmanly. Apply skin lotion.
Men out there, I tell you, this
No, you suffer when you
will
get
suffer.
old.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess lotion people say is just to help you like think of softer,
Moisturize, yeah. But yeah, you have dry skin, it's better to use lotion lah. Yeah, so my family, everyone uses lotion. It's very normal. But I have to admit, like, I did hated it when I was a child because it's like, it's sticky, it doesn't feel good. It feels even worse when I'm sweating and everything.
Yes.
So, but of course, like as I grew older, my skin got worse and now I rely on lotion. I cannot live without lotion. It's to a point where if I go sleep over at a friend's house and I forget to bring my lotion gun,
You have to go back.
I have to go back to get it because I cannot live without it. Because
gosh.
it's like if I don't use it and then my skin is dry throughout the night, I scratch it, it becomes worse. Or if I use my friend's lotion and it's not ngam, it's not correct for my skin, it's
As
worse.
your skin may be used towards the specific condition.
And a
already.
lot, of course, everyone uses like scented lotions. Why would someone use an unscented lotion? You know what's the point of it? You know, especially girls lah. So yeah, I have to bring my own. Or if I know my friend's house, because I had a friend who had like this. Oh, I forgot what the brand was. Unscented lotion cream. It was a cream that she didn't like to use. So she was like, "Oh, I can give it to you," and I'm like, "It's okay. Keep it at your house. I visit your house very often, so I'll use it when I'm there." And yeah, I do. I do use it every single time I'm there, and I'm glad that I don't have to remember to bring my creams lah. But I usually try to remember to bring my creams. So, yeah. Cream family. The question was, okay, family history. So my dad has dry skin. He doesn't really have like eczema lah. But actually growing up, ever since I was a really, really young child, I had eczema. My sister, on the other hand, my younger sister, never once she had any skin problems.
Only now.
Only recently, only maybe like the past 2 years when she started using her hands more in her like skills. That's when it starts coming out. Like perfect timing when you need to use your hands, you have reactions to things in your environment. So only then she started acting out, like had skin problems. Yeah, but again, it's recently lah. Yeah.
I mean, skin condition, even eczema, actually can come out anytime also lah. Like what we've been talking for the past few episodes, eczema doesn't matter what age or even it can be of any cause also. Like no one has a specific, only generalized or can be from this, this.
Yeah.
I feel Marco is a very good student. He remember everything I said before.
I mean,
He did
that's why
his studies, he did his
studying for
research.
teacher also lah.
True. Very good trait. But yeah, family history. Mostly it's just me lah. Mostly it's
I mean,
just me.
may or may not become like a generation worsen thing lah.
Oh, but my nieces and nephews do have skin problems. My nieces and nephews have skin problems as well. Yeah, so it's definitely a genetic thing.
lah.
Yeah.
Because,
Same for my family also. My mother's side, a lot of cousins and their children also have.
Luckily, you got the lucky genes lah.
Yeah, lucky.
Slightly
my
lucky lah,
sister
just
also
sensitive.
Have, sensitive, yeah, slightly sensitive, but not like eczema, psoriasis. Yeah.
Good. But hopefully it's not like a worsen thing like a generation passed down, generation passed worse.
Yeah. But I just hope that like eventually it gets better lah. Eventually it gets better or it doesn't act out anymore. Because like I have talked to people that are like very not old lah. Very like 50 plus 60 years old. They've had it their entire lives and they still have it. They have to use certain creams for it. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, is this going to be my life if I never find a proper...
Worst case, I even have some friends actually, the case actually got to worse and they have to eat antibiotics.
Yeah, true.
I considered doing... not that I considered, like, it was under consideration that I take, like, shots. Was it? No, it was like immunosuppressant things to control my immune system so it doesn't act out as much. It got that bad at one point. But thankfully, I never had to do it. Like, the most I had to do was oral steroids.
Okay.
It's okay. It's in the past. It's in the past. Right now, it's better.
Top of your life.
Yeah, well, I guess legit, like what we said, condition, I legit cannot.
Yeah.
Now they're getting the real life feeling of what it's
we were
like.
talking about it, really cannot. I don't know, but right now, listening to someone that actually
The only body concern that I have is like I don't want to gain weight.
weight conscious.
I don't want to be a fat person like that. So yeah, it's like they must be like taking a lot of mental strain.
It is. Like on top of the stress that you have from like work or uni kan, this really does not help and it in fact makes it worse. So like there was a time in my life where I was really not nice person. A really not nice person because I would lash out so easily because I was in so much pain. It hurts. My skin looks horrible, you know? So it really affected my mood. So I was not a really nice person. Like if you met me during that period of time, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you had to endure me during that time.
And thank you also.
And thank you for those who are still here.
We can do an episode of
We
this.
can do an episode on stress. Yeah.
Have to because right now is stress can actually relate towards eczema. Can actually find more about it, talk about it. Future episodes. Do stay tuned.
Stay tuned for stress.
For last question, I would just
Last
ask.
question already.
Wow. Very easy. Only. Just that, would you have any advice towards like the audience? Any that one facing or even as you said, your sisters only past recent 2 years only have the condition. Like, do you have any advice for them? Avoid or even maybe to face through, push through.
Let me think a little bit. Well, I would say the first piece of advice is to stand your ground. Stand your ground whenever anyone comes up to you and be like, oh, you have eczema? Oh, whoever this person got eczema also. You should try this. You should get this. No, I even give you. Here it is. Use it now. This is how you use it. Like, if you found something that is recommended by whoever you're seeing, whether it could be your dermatologist, your doctors, or just some professional that you trust and it works, don't sway. Don't sway and try it out, because I've had a lot of instances where I did sway and try it out and I really don't know whether it worked or not. And because these people just randomly gave you something, you don't know where it came from, what are the ingredients. And even if, let's say it did work, you don't know where to get it. Because I've actually had people recommend me things like, oh, I bought this in Thailand. I cannot read a single word of it. Use it. It's been really, really good on me. So yeah, stand your ground. If you find something that you can trust, just keep with it. Yeah, don't just sway and follow whatever people tells you to do. Even though you might be in a really, really bad position and you are really hopeless on what to use that can help you with it, look into it a little bit, or at least consult someone that is trusted instead of just taking it at
trained
service
person,
level.
certified person, like a dermatologist.
Anyone that you can trust, not just some random person.
And then you at least use something that is an ingredient list that you can understand. I do know some cream in the market in Malaysia. They say they are nature,
But
but
behind when you look closely,
you have a lot of steroids.
Yeah.
And it recently just got detected by
Oh my.
MOH from Singapore.
Oh, that one now.
That
we
got two cream,
Yeah.
the two
We did
instances.
an
Yeah, I
episode
showed
about it,
you. Yeah. It's like that serious. And if you search through Shopee, right, you can look at their sales records. A lot of people bought that.
Yeah.
Even my own cousin also bought it for her own kids.
Yeah.
But
A
it's
lot
like
of these
so
things out there. Yeah.
Scary.
But most family, I think you guys would have family doctors. If you guys are forced to take it, don't use it. Just bring it towards the family doctor. Even if they may not know what to do with it, they will know someone to actually recommend you to actually go check it out.
Or even if it's medicine, even if it's like proper medicine, unlike what we just talked about, like some random creams that has no ingredient list, even if it's an actual cream or actual like Western medicine, don't simply take it, because even if it could be for skin, it's not necessarily for your skin, for your condition, and the person who really knows that is your doctor lah. Last piece of advice I would like to give to everyone is, don't let your skin condition or your sensitive skin or anything stop you from living your life lah. Yeah, because I throughout this 2 hours that we've been talking, there's a lot of basic things that is really hard for me to do because of my skin. I guess one thing that I didn't talk about is that when I swim, it also irritates my skin because of the
chlorine,
things that are found in the water, chlorine and everything. And I used to be a swimmer. I used to be a
Oh my
swimmer.
God.
Yeah, I remember.
I used to be a swimmer. So it's really tough that I cannot do something that I used to really like. And although I've gotten over the fact that I cannot swim now, and I try to avoid water sports, if someone invites, my friends, and they invited me to Sunway Lagoon, I'm not going to turn it down just because I have skin problems. Yeah, because I want to have fun with my friends. I want to live my life. So find ways that you can come around it or still
Compromise
enjoy
for
it. Compromise for it lah. Don't just say flat out, oh, I am 100% allergic to this thing. This makes my skin worse. I'm completely going to not join this at all. If you can find a compromise, I would say try to find a compromise lah. Because if you just avoid everything 100%, you never know.
You gotta get to enjoy.
You never get to enjoy, and you never know whether you are what if one day you are not allergic to it anymore, Although that's not a really good piece of advice. That's not a really good piece of
Just
advice.
enjoy life.
Enjoy
lah.
Yeah, just enjoy life. Yeah. Find ways around it. So yeah, that's all of my advice.
We've ended, and right now just want to say appreciation for coming towards a podcast lah.
No problem. It was really fun. It's really nice to have an outlet where I can share about my daily life, because it's sometimes a struggle, but I'm glad that there is an outlet for people to talk about it, and I hope that more people can share about it, because who knows, we might find some tips that
Different people
can be useful.
Like right now also we're learning a lot of things.
Yeah. Apart from just reading from research articles.
Personal. This is
Got
personal
case study.
study.
Got case study.
Got a
now.
lot.
Study, yeah,
Case
now got
study.
case studies.
If people that watch this, they know also, because past few episodes we've been doing case studies. But those are from researchers' point of view. Right now it's really personal.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for listening and even watching the episode. If you're from wherever you are, do leave a comment for anything you guys want to see next.
Thank you.
Bye bye.